What is happening, guys? Welcome back. So, final day or two in the old workshop. As you can see, the majority of stuff has gone, and we've just taken all the banners down, which were pretty much one of the main things that made it feel like home, if you like. The Mk2, as you can see, and you might hopefully have watched the last episode, we're not carrying on with that project. That's now cut up, ready to go for scrap. Chassis is sat there, ready. I've just got to list it. I just need to go over and check what year it is on the logbook when I get back, because that's a chassis, engine and logbook. So yeah, that'll be up for sale soon. We've got a few bits there that still need to go home. We've got another load to go and take to be recycled, thrown away, and then scrap, which is what the Mk2 is going for as well, to try and just recoup a little bit of money. So we are near the end of this era of being in this unit. Ceiling's all back together. Me and Rich put the ceiling back together where the lift was, and still need to cut the bolts flush because I keep tripping over them. But yeah, the end of it. It feels massive in here. We had some serious stuff in here which made it feel very, very small. I mean, you look at how much space there is on the side of that chassis. Yeah, we really did pack a lot of stuff in here. But I'm glad to be getting out of it. I really, really am. It's a few other things other than just the unit being a mess, personal things, reasons that I'm glad to be getting out of here. And finally, after 3 years, if you like, putting an end and closing that chapter of my life after sort of the breakdown and everything, we can finally now close that chapter and start a fresh one. So with that said, we're going to be done here. Let's head over to the house and go and pull the new project out the garden, get it in the new workshop, and have a look, see if it's got any worse for being sat outside for the past 8 or 9 months. It has been under cover, but it has been outside over winter. So let's get back, dig it out, and have a look. And here we are, a couple of days later. So we've been over the unit, sorting stuff out still, again, scrapping stuff, tidying stuff up or whatever. You didn't really need to see that, so I've not filmed it. There's a few bits left to do, but... Oh, sun's coming out now, it's starting to melt, but we had an absolutely massive dumping of snow last night. And the road that we live on, there were about 4 or 5 cars in ditches and whatever. So we've knocked that on the head for the day, although by the looks of it, they should be getting a bit better with the sun coming out. But yeah, the new project is in there. Has anyone guessed it yet? Has anyone worked out what the project is? So I suppose we should show you and explain what it is. So let's unveil what we're going to be working on next. So the next project on the channel is a Mk2 Polo. So I imagine quite a few of you will have already guessed it, but yeah, it's a Mk2 Polo. It's a C-Reg. It's currently a rolling shell because it's not got an engine in. Bonnet's latch has gone down. Most of the interior is all inside of it. It's been stripped. Rear arches are shot, sills are shot. There's a couple of other bits. The 2 main areas that I've been told that are known for rusting on them are around the fuel filler, which looks pretty okay, and then in here where the battery goes, and again that area looks okay. Yeah, this is what we're going to be doing, and the idea, well, first of all I want to say thank you to James for donating the car to me. He contacted me last year, said he'd got two, this one and one that was driving. This was sat in his garage and he was moving house and he got no way of moving it and nowhere at his new property to put it. Was I interested? So yeah, we agreed. I thought it could be a cool little project. So we drove down to Dartford and picked it up, brought it back, and this is what's been sat in the old stables and then in the garden since last summertime. And the idea with the project is going to be, I want to try and do a budget show car build. So essentially, people would say this is a scrap car. So we're going to try and do scrap to show car, but on a budget. Now, the initial idea I've got for the budget is sort of £5 grand. See what we can do and what we can build for £5 grand. I think we'll be able to do quite a lot with it. We're going to put a different engine in it. We're going to shave the bay, colour change, the interior. I might have a go at trimming the interior myself. I do fancy having a go at that. At the minute, I'm thinking we might modify the inner and outer arches and everything to try and get it as low as we can static, so it looks cool. Try and raise the engine a little bit as well, just so that, yeah, get everything out of the way. And just try and put some cool little touches. I want to try and pull the arches a bit to try and make it a little bit wider so you've got a bit more of a turn on it. We might change the arches. I don't know yet. I've been looking at putting Mark 1 Golf arches on because they've got a bit more of shape about, and these are a bit rounded. I don't know. What do you guys think? What do you guys think that I should do to it? What colour should we paint it? What should we do with the interior? What wheels? I've got the majority of it in mind. What engine do you think we should put in it as well? Bearing in mind this is a small block engine base, so we can't go R32 in it. We can't go 20 valve in it, things like that. You can do it. It just involves a lot of fabrication. I want to try and turn this around as quickly as possible, and I would like to get it to a couple of shows this year if we can. Not be the big dragged on project that the Mark 1 was. Hopefully in this brand new space, and I've got a bit of experience, we're going to be able to do this one quite quickly. So yeah, what do you guys think? Is this a good move? I'm genuinely really excited about it. The few people that I've told about it already on social media have been pretty excited about it as well. If anyone knows anyone breaking a car or knows anyone selling parts, we need a few bits. We need the rear spoiler, we need rear quarters, wing mirrors. I've not been through any of the stuff that's in the car yet. We literally got the car, put it in the stables, moved it outside. That's it. I'm hoping it's no more rusty than what we can already see. So let's put the camera on the side and we'll start unloading the stuff out, have a look at how bad the shell actually is and see what we've got with it and what's missing. Right, we've got some bits off the car and we've taken the front end off, and it's a bit worse than we thought, but it is nowhere near the Mark 1, Mark 2 bad. It's all repairable and I'm going to say it should be an easy fix. But first thing, we've got wings. Both wings are rotted out and shot, so we need a pair of wings. Bonnet seems okay. There's a little dent on it. There's a little bit of surface rust inside, but I think we can save that. We've got some black carpets there, which hopefully will clean up, because I don't think you can get aftermarket ones. We've got the loom down here, which we obviously need to go through, and then whatever we decide engine-wise, we need to work out the integration of the two. We've got boxes of odds and sods down here, which I'm being honest, we're not going to need the majority of the stuff that's in there, although we're not going to throw any of it away yet. A pair of door cards there. We've got two sets of clocks, a pair of rear lights, the rear parcel shelf hangers, which is nice because I think they're quite difficult to get hold of. We've got window rubber for the driver's side, and we've got glass and rubber for the passenger side. A pair of front seats that are in decent enough condition. We're not going to be using them. I want to put a different pair of seats in. Rear seat is there. We'll need that. Hopefully the foam and the metal are okay. We won't be wanting the fabric. Door cards, pair of bumpers, and the sill trims, which are the reason that the sills have gone rusty because the water gets stuck. Another pair of front seats that have been split. Centre console, dashboard is there too. And having done a bit of looking online, I think the thing that people do is they put the Mark II F dashboard in, just a little bit nicer. Maybe, I don't know, we might put the old one in. I don't know. It's still very much up in the air. And then we've just been round and had a look at the couple of areas that I knew were rusty just to make sure they haven't got any worse and see if we can find any more. So we'll start up top. We can't really get underneath it yet, but the sills have gone at the back and all the way along, and they've gone at the front, which I'll show you in a minute. Inside the car here, you've got a bit of rust down here that's gone on, which again, it shouldn't be too bad of a fix. It's had a form of a repair here, which I don't really like, so we'll probably be taking that repair out. And then when we get the wheel off, we can have a look from the back and see what's gone on there. Down at the front, it's rotted down it. I knew this would have gone here. It's gone down here, and the sill's gone all the way along. I'm hoping that if the floors have gone, I'm hoping it's just the edge. Got a little hole here again, which shouldn't be too bad. It's gone through here as well, so there's a bit in that area. Like I say, the battery tray, thankfully, is good, as is the other side. Rest of the engine bay looks pretty okay. Front panel, everything looks okay. It doesn't look like it's been any bumps or anything, so I'm hoping we can salvage that lot. Coming down to this side, this arch has got a bit of damage as well. This is all solid. It's all solid at the top, but down here, we've got a hole in here and a hole in here, and then it comes around into the sill again, which this is where the plastic trims clip on, why it's rotted. Got it at the back as well, and then obviously coming up around here, all this arch is gone as well. Nothing really screaming out. Rear corners, I don't know if they're all right. They've got a bit of bubbling, but hopefully they'll be okay. Boot needs a bit of work. There's a bit there, and then the edge is there. And then inside the rest of the car, it seems all right. We've been poking and prodding down in the corner underneath, like the end of the sill with the front wheel arch on both sides, and it seems pretty solid. Boot seems okay. Spare wheel wells had a knock, but not the end of the world. A little bit of rust on the opening there, a little bit there. But all in all, with the history of the projects we've had on the channel, it doesn't seem too bad, and hopefully it won't take a huge amount of welding to get it solid again. I think we have to be a little bit creative because there isn't a huge amount available for these. I think you can get sills. I think you can get rear arches. I'm sure you can get a pair of wings. We might be creative and try and use some Mark 1 Golf pieces, maybe to try and fix the front lower corner. I'm sure you can get rear arches for them. I have looked, but I honestly can't remember. But yeah, that's it so far. We really need to get underneath it to have a look underneath and see sort of how bad it is underneath. And then I think the first job that we've got, which is a job that I absolutely hate, but we're going to have to do it properly, is I'm going to have to get all the suspension and everything off, and then we're going to have to sit with a heat gun and a scraper and scrape all of that underseal off, so we can actually see what's behind it, and so that we can then weld to it, because trying to weld with underseal and everything really doesn't work. But yeah, we've got all that off. What I'm going to do now is try and tidy up, put everything away, get it a bit more organised. Then the snow really is, you might be able to hear it running outside, it's really starting to melt now. So I think I'm then going to jump in the van, head over to the workshop, and finally 100% get out of that unit, so that that part of my life is over and done with. And then we're in the... We need to come up with a name for it. I'm not normally one for naming things, but the shed, I don't know. The workshop, it's a bit boring, the workshop. We need to come up with a name for it. The Dream Factory, that's a bit... No, we can't say that. Anyway, we need to come up with a name for it. So, I'll catch up with you in a little bit when we've been out, sorted a few of the bits out, and we'll try and get this on the lift. Have a little look underneath, and hopefully it's no worse underneath. I can now happily say 100% we are out of the old unit. It's a thing of the past. I've not got to worry about it. It's not looming over my head anymore. We're completely out of there. I don't want to sound ungrateful for it, because that space was good enough. It did a job. It got us sorted out and rolling down the road that we are now on. But I am so glad to be finally out of there and fully in the new space. With that said, in the new space, the car, we've got it up on the lift. So we've got the lift all bolted down, anchored down, wired in and everything, and it's in and okay. Does the job, goes up and down. It's holding this car in it. I wouldn't want to go putting much more weight on it than that body shell. At the minute, I've got the engineers from the company that I bought it from coming out just for peace of mind, just to check what I've done and make sure it's correct and it's not going to go falling down or breaking, and I've got it all set properly, just because I just want that peace of mind. When you've got a T5 above your head, I just want to know that, yeah, it's not going to fall down and kill us. Anyway, we've got the car up, and I've had a very, very quick look, and I'm happy to say it doesn't actually look too bad underneath. So we'll just try and go and have a walk round. Front end, again, all looks okay and the arches are okay. Front panel is looking good. We've got a bit of crust here and there. Inner wings look good. Bottom of the bulkhead down here and everywhere looks okay. Rear engine mount, gearbox mount, whatever. Floors look in good condition. Got a bit of underseal on them. Down here is looking good. A little bit knocked off, but nothing major. The floors, the edges of the floors don't actually look too bad. There's going to be patching here and there, I think. But grand scheme, they are still attached to the inner sill, which is nice. Bit of crust, but nothing untoward. Fuel tank's had a massive whack. That's obviously going to need replacing. Got a little bit of crust here and there. Here, there's a bit more going on now. Structurally, this is all okay. But here, the back edge of the inner sill, the front edge of the rear arch, and obviously the outer arch, that's all gone. Chassis legs all look good. They look all okay. Got a bit of crust going on here. Back panel is no longer attached to the spare wheel, which again isn't a problem. We can just cut that out and make a new piece. That looks like it's had a bit of a whack, or maybe that is what it's supposed to be like. I don't really know. Chassis legs, they look okay. This rear corner and this rear panel is going to need a little bit of attention. But again, nothing major jumping out at me. Same this side, all the sills gone. The inner sill needs a bit of work, so I have to cut all that out. Arch has gone partly on this side anyway, and the inner has gone partly. Back edge there has gone as well. Looks like it's had a bit of paint at some point in its life. That's not a problem. We'll be bare metal in it anyway. Sills along here, yeah, pretty much as expected. Along here, all these front bits need doing as well. Yeah, it doesn't actually, this side doesn't actually look too bad under there. That front corner is, yeah, the floor's okay. Pleasantly surprised. It's no worse really underneath than I thought it was going to be. So I think we will take that as a little win. So yeah, hopefully you guys are up for what we're going to be doing with this and trying to do a scrap to show car sort of build. £5 budget. That's got to be everything from here as it is to it's sat in a show field. So I want your input. Like I said, I've got ideas of what, but I want your input. What colour would you paint it? What engine would you put in it? What interior front seats would you put in it? What would you trim the interior in? I've said what wheels? Yeah, colour, wheels. What would you do to build this car? Would you put any graphics on the side of it? I've got all these different ideas, but I want to try and get you guys input and see what you think. Another one that I'm thinking of is, do we go for the plastic bumpers that were on it, or do we go for the early Mark 1 metal type bumpers? They're a little bit slimmer and a little bit sleeker and a little bit nicer looking. Would you go for square headlights that are off the Derby, or would you go for the original round headlights? Would you go for the 4 headlights or the twin headlights? There's all these different options, and I want your input and know what you guys think we should do to it. So hopefully you are as excited about this project as I am. We will be getting back on with the T5 as well as building this project. I just needed to get this out of the garden because I promised Abigail I would have it out of the garden by her birthday, and we've managed to beat it by about a week and a half. So I couldn't really have it in here and be filming in here and not talk about it. So that is why we've dropped this video. We'll be back on with the T5 very soon. But yeah, hopefully you've enjoyed it, guys. I look forward to reading all your comments and seeing what you all think. I may probably not be able to reply to every single one, but I will read, and I do assure you that I read every single comment that comes on the channel, and I try and at least react to them where I can. So hopefully you enjoyed this one, guys. Until next time, enjoy.